Hello, this is News Now, reaching you live from iBrandTV News Studios here in Lagos. Top stories. 17 southern governors converge on Lagos to discuss state of the nation. Gunmen invade BETHEL Secondary School, Kaduna, and abduct scores of students. Rescuers in Japan search for 80 people believed to be missing 2 days after landslides. Apprehension as Jeff Bezos steps down as Amazon boss. Hello again, and thanks very much for joining us. Now, here are stories making headlines the moment. Micronauts. Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu has started receiving 16 of his colleagues from southern Nigeria. The governor arrived at Alausa, Ikeja, the venue of their meeting on the state of the nation. The meeting is holding 8 weeks after the governors met in Asaba, Delta State capital, on May the 11th, 2021. At the meeting, the governors are expected to assess decisions taken in Asaba on the open grazing ban, restructuring, fiscal federalism, and the call for state police. We'll bring you details of this story in our subsequent bulletins. Meanwhile, gunmen suspected to be kidnappers in the early hours of Monday invaded BETHEL Secondary School, Mara in Chikun local government area of Kaduna State, kidnapping unspecified number of students. According to the reports, the hoodlums stormed the school premises located in the outskirts of the metropolis around 1 a.m., shooting indiscriminately and made away with scores of students there. Although there was no official confirmation of the attack yet, the source said security operatives had cordoned off the school. Troops of the 82 Division Task Force Battalion on patrol along Ngoshe, Ashigashiya, about 12 kilometers from the unit's location, have made contact with elements of Boko Haram terrorists at Daushe. This is according to a communique by Brigadier General Onyema Nwachukwu, Director of Army Public Relations. According to him, the troops, who fiercely engaged and sustained heavy gunfire on the terrorists during the encounter, neutralized 5 terrorists, compelling the terrorist group to retreat in disarray in the Mandara Mountains with several gunshot wounds. General Nwachukwu noted that on further exploitation after the gun battle, the gallant troops recovered 1 AK-47 rifle, 1 magazine containing 13 rounds of fabricated 7.62mm special, a bandolier of 44 rounds of 7.62mm NATO, and a bag containing 52 rounds of 7.62mm special. Following the incessant kidnapping of students in schools across the country, the ADAMAWA State Police Command has vowed to secure both private and government schools in the state. The State Police Commissioner, Adamu Aliyu, disclosed this during an interaction with journalists at the command headquarters in Yola, the ADAMAWA State capital.
We don't fold our arms just because incidences that happen elsewhere. Then we will just relax in our comfort zone and see until when it gets to us. No, we plan and strategize. Part of the strategy we adopted is that we engage all the principal and the leaders of all schools, secondaries, primary, and we keep patrolling most of this school, and we equally go to the extent of advising the management of those schools to employ the services of vigilantes and all these hunters, which we collaborate with them and we visit them. That visit gives them support.
These traditional hunters, or whatever you call them, almost every place we have them. In every village we have them. Why can't government contract these people and give them as a contract if they cannot be employed, so that they take care of our schools? When schools are closed, everybody goes back to his normal life. When schools are open in the morning from 7, they should be around the school protecting the students. After closing hours, everybody goes, they too goes home and leave the migrants. I think that would be good for us.
The Senate Constitution Review Committee has ratified a proposal that will compel the president to form his cabinet within 30 days of assumption of office. Governors are also to be mandated to form the Executive Council within the same time frame. These are parts of the proposals voted on yesterday by committee members. They will form part of the recommendations for the Senate's approval during the clause by clause consideration proposal for review and the Constitution are submitted by the committee. Other major issues decided upon include making it mandatory for the president to make an annual State of the Nation address to Nigerians before joint sitting the National Assembly, reservation of 10% slots for women in the cabinet and other appointments, and fixing of specific time for the proclamation of the National Assembly by the president. Nobel laureate WOLE has asked the federal government to apologize to Sunday Igboho after officials of the Department of State Services invaded his home and killed 2 of his associates. The DSS invaded Igboho's house in Ibadan, Oyo State, early on Thursday. Based on intelligence, it said it had received that he was stockpiling arms to cause chaos within the region. Igboho, who has been declared wanted by the DSS, had recently been calling for Yoruba nation over what he has described as Fulani invasion of the Southwest. In an interview with the BBC Pidgin published on Monday, SOYINKA said the government's actions and rationale for invading Igboho's home stinks. He advised the federal government to stop pursuing Igboho as criminal. According to SOYINKA, Igboho's fight for freedom was preceded by criminal acts of the enemies of Nigeria who appeared to be supported by the force of the state. Governor Ahmadu FINTIRI of ADAMAWA State has denied media reports that he is lobbying the All Progressives Congress to defect to the party. The governor says he has no intention to leave the People's Democratic Party. His Director General of Media and Publicity, Solomon Kumanga, has told journalists that's necessary to make this known publicly.
Well, it has become necessary to state categorically that the governor of Adamawa State, His Excellency Ahmadu Umaru Fintiri, is not contemplating leaving the PDP. Neither is he thinking of decamping or defecting, as it were, to any political party or APC for that matter. The governor believes strongly that the political, economic, and security challenges currently facing the country cannot merely be solved by people decamping from one political party or the other. He said what is most important at this time is for Nigerians of all walks of life to join hands and summon the challenges confronting the nation. The governor, as it were, is comfortably leading the PDP and Adamawa State to achieve developmental milestones for the people. He remains focused on his mandate of providing good governance to all parts of the state.
The Oyo State Governor, MAKINDE, has named his new Chief of Staff days after dissolving his cabinet. This was made known in a letter signed by the Secretary to the State Government, Olubamiwo Adeosun, and the appointment takes immediate effect. Recall that the pace-setter governor recently dissolved his cabinet, and affected ones are the Chief of Staff, Chief BC Ilaka, and 17 other commissioners. However, Makinde has appointed SEGUN Ogunwi as his Chief of Staff. Ogunwi was named Executive Assistant to the Governor on Investment in 2019. He was later appointed Director General of the Oyo State Investment and Public-Private Partnership Agency following the passage of the law setting up the agency. The Nigerian government has been advised to focus on development of public schools to make them compete with private schools around. Stakeholders in the education sector gave the advice at a summit in Akure, the Ondo State capital.
Make reason of fiscal is to bridge the gap between the rich and the poor, between the public and the private schools. So you see that we have a lot of private schools there, we have a lot of public schools there. When we started, some people say it will not work because the private school believe they are rich and they cannot mingle with the lower class. But I told them it will work. And here we are today, 8 years after, it's working.
Even the primary school setting cannot be left out. So a program like this is needed for a country like ours, especially at this critical period, where we are having all kinds of vices prevailing in the society.
I believe fundamentally that young people are the future of any society, and we must pay attention to them. And this is one of the ways of paying attention to them. This program is an annual program. It happens every year, and I've been a part of it in the last 6 years. And I can say confidently that this is impacting the lives of the young ones.
The displaced farmers in recent crisis between the Tiv Fulani in central TARABA have returned to their various farms to participate in this year's wet season farming. Traditional leader of Tiv communities in the state made the disclosure at the swearing in of councillors in Bali.
To thank the Almighty God for His grace, and I want to sincerely thank the Executive Governor of Taraba State, Architect Darius Dixon ISHAKU, for his effort through the Executive Chairman of Bali Local Government. The situation is now calm. By the time we face these challenges of mayhem of our people by the herdsmen in the villages and burning of our houses, the governor have directed the Executive Chairman through our traditional leaders, the traditional rulers here in our local government. The situation is seriously calm and our people have gone back to their various destinations, various homes.
There are peace, no problem between TB and Fulani in Bali local government. And now, the leaders of Meti Allah and leader of T sitting, they talking between this problem happening Fulani and TB, the issue is finished. The problem is not.
Make it clearly, the issue of this communal crisis between the two tribes have been clearly identified. It's just between TB and Fulani. And I want to confirm to you that this crisis here in Bali is an escalation of crisis all the way from Benue down to Bali local government. And in addition to that, it has been confirmed that the crisis does not involve the indigenous TV and the indigenous Fulani here in Bali local government. All of them are strangers. So based on that, I have done my effort to see that I have tackled the issue and intervene.
Rivers State Police Command has paraded over 36 suspected criminals who were involved in alleged robbery, kidnapping and cultism terrorizing parts of the state. The command also paraded 2 ladies among 7-man gang involved in robbery activity popularly called One Chance.
The police recovered 127 7.62 live ammunition concealed in water bottle, and also it was preserved with a liquid believed to be AGO, which is this, as we call this. One Jonah Awaji, the owner of the bag containing the exhibit, was arrested immediately. On interrogation, he confessed to being a member of Iceland Secret Court and that he stole the exhibit from their camp in Guaragokana local government area to deliver to one Nelson Promise in Port Harcourt. The operative of anti-kidnapping unit, with the aid of technical intelligence, arrested one Monday Dante, 27 years old, whose GSM number was used on several occasions to demand ransom for the release of kidnapped victims. He was arrested in Kane, the Kane local government area of the state. The gang was responsible for most kidnapped incidents around Woji and Elilewon Oasis of Port Harcourt.
You're watching News Now from iBrandTV, Lagos. We'll take a commercial break now and return with more stories. Stay with us.
Most people don't understand the magic of a perfect skin, the allure of a well-pampered skin. We bounce from skincare products to skincare products, from spa to spa. Looking for that ideal solution. I found the solution. And it's Blemiville Skincare and Spa. My name is Neil, and I'm proud to be a part of the Blemiville family.
You're watching News Now from iBrandTV, Lagos. African News Now. South Africa's ex-president Jacob Zuma lashed out on Sunday. Other judges who this week gave him a 15-month jail term for absconding from a corruption inquiry, comparing them to the white minority apartheid rulers he once fought. Zuma spoke at his home in Nkandla, in the rural part of KwaZulu-Natal province, where hundreds of his supporters, some of them armed, were gathered to prevent his arrest. The fact that I was lambasted with a punitive jail sentence without trial should engender shock in all those who believe in freedom and the rule of law, Zuma told journalists. The Constitutional Court sentenced Zuma on Tuesday for contempt of court for failing to appear at a hearing in February of the inquiry led by Deputy Chief Justice Raymond Zondo. Humanitarian aid from Portugal and Italy begins to arrive in Mozambique to support the populations affected by the conflict in Cabo Delgado. The first of 3 planned flights landed on Saturday. The Portuguese Secretary of State for Foreign Affairs and Cooperation called for the involvement of the other European Union member states. Francisco Andres said, this attitude of Portugal and Italy to take the initial step is very important because we would like it to mobilize other member states to do the same. It is very important that other European and non-European states join us in this effort to help the populations of Mozambique, especially in the Cabo Delgado area. Foreign news now. Rescuers in Japan searched on Monday for 80 people believed to be missing 2 days after landslides tore through the city of Atami, destroying houses and burying roads under mud and rock. The official death toll from the landslides that hit early on Saturday is 4, according to Atami city spokesperson Hiroki Oruna, while the number of missing had come down from 113. The 2 people were found alive and unharmed on Monday. Atami, with a population of 36,000, is 90 kilometers southwest of Tokyo, set on a steep slope leading down a bay. It is famous for hot springs resorts. Now, Philippine authorities ordered on Monday an investigation into the crash of an Air Force plane that overshot a runway, killing 47 soldiers aboard, 3 civilians on the ground, and injuring dozens. Some passengers on the Lockheed C-130 jumped 3 seconds before the plane crashed and burst into flames. On the weekend, officials cited witnesses said on Sunday the aircraft carrying recently graduated troops bound for counterinsurgency operations had been trying to land at Jolo Airport in southern Sulu province, Red Moor. Now, all 96 passengers on board had been accounted for, with 49 military personnel injured as well as 4 civilians on the ground. Military spokesperson Major General Edgar Arevalo said. Up next is Sport News with Jidechi.
Welcome to the sports update. I am Jidechi Chidu Ezie.
Now, the Godwin Obaseki-led Edo State government has, in its bid to reposition the almost non-existent Edo Queens Football Club, linked the football side to jobs in the state. Deputy Governor Philip Shuaibu had expressed worry about the condition of the club and promised that the state government would work on it. And as part of ways to better the lives of the female players in the state, the administration has now linked the Queens FC club with jobs in the states.
Bender Insurance and Edo Queen, that is the darling team of Edo State, were completely abandoned. For close to a decade, these teams were struggling to survive. This morning, he asked that we must turn that tide around, and Edo State should reclaim its position not only in football, but in sports in Nigeria. And that process started, we started with Bender Insurance rebranding, and we followed up with Edo Queens. And the interesting part of these two teams is that they are linked with Edo Jobs. All our programs are all interwoven and they are linked for proper management and tracking.
I've never seen a state supporting female football in Nigeria. Lead them. I said no. I have feelings. I'm feeling pains for the deputy governor. The love he has for the team. The love he has for the team. If you have like 2, 3, 4, 5, close to 10 people like that in this country, female football will go higher.
Now moving on, with less than 19 days to the Tokyo 2020 Olympic Games, kits and other sports equipment donated to the Nigerian basketball teams to aid their smooth participation at the games are trapped at the Lagos seaport. In absence of Nigeria's men and women's football teams at the Tokyo Olympic Games, many Nigerians are looking forward to the performance of the D-Tigers and their women counterparts, the D-Tigress, at the Olympic Games. An official of the Nigeria Basketball Federation, in an interview with The Guardian, revealed that Peak Milk, based in China, donated some sports equipment, including sports kits, for the two teams for the purpose of the Olympic Games about 3 months ago, but the Nigerian Customs Service has held on to them at the port. All efforts to speak with officials of the Nigeria Customs Service at this time have so far been unsuccessful. And that's all for now on the sports update. Michael, it's all yours now.
Thank you very much, Judechi. Up next is business news. In 2004, Jeff Bezos and his technical advisor, Colin Breyer, drove together to the city Tacoma south of Seattle in Washington state. At that time, Amazon was a multi-billion-dollar company. However, they were headed to Amazon's customer services center, where they were to spend 2 days as customer service agents. Jeff was actually taking the calls himself, Breyer says. He recalls that a complaint on one product in particular kept coming in. Jeff's eyes went wide, he says. The National Pension Commission has said that pension fund administrators paid 67.42 billion naira as retirement benefits to pensioners under the contributory pension scheme in the first quarter of 2021. This was lower than the 90.99 billion naira paid in fourth quarter of 2020. The disclosure is contained in the first quarter of 2021 report of the National Pension Commission. A total of 67.42 billion naira was paid as retirement benefits in first quarter of 2021. This was lower than the 90.99 billion naira paid in fourth quarter 2020 by 23.57 billion naira, the report said. Now, the devaluation of the naira from 379 naira per dollar to 411 naira per dollar will push the daily subsidy on petrol to 7.1 naira billion or 7.1 billion naira, as it will raise the product's landing cost. According to an economic report released the weekend, Managing Director, Financial Derivatives Company Limited, Bismarck Riwani, said the landing cost of petrol has increased by 61.6% to 231.98 naira per litre from an average of 143.6 naira per litre in December last year. He explained that with the rise in local consumption of petrol from 57.8 million last year to 93 million litres, about 60.9% subsidy payments could rise to 7.1 billion naira daily from 5.5 billion naira in June. The Senate has summoned former managing directors of the Nigeria Social Insurance Trust Fund over alleged missing financial documents in the agency. The former NCITF bosses are expected to appear before the Senate Public Accounts Committee on Tuesday. The chairman of SPAC, Senator Matthew Orowirie, at the last meeting of his panel on Thursday, said 50 queries were issued against the officials by the Office of the Auditor General for the Federation. He said the ex-NSITF bosses were being invited following the failure of the officials of the agency to respond to the queries of the OGF regarding some alleged financial infractions. Nigeria lost about $2.1 billion in foreign reserves within the first half of 2021, falling to its lowest level in almost 4 years. This is according to data obtained from the Daily External Reserve Movement Tracker released by the Central Bank of Nigeria. Nigeria's foreign reserve level declined from $35.37 billion recorded as of 31st December 2021 to $33.32 billion as of 30th June 2021. This represents a 5.8% decline in just 6 months. The continuous decline, which has persisted for over 2 months, has been attributed to a number of factors, and prominent amongst them is the decline in Nigeria's crude oil earnings, despite bullish trends in the global crude oil market. Crude oil has enjoyed a bullish first half of the year, having gained over 45% year to date to trade around $75 per barrel, with analysts projecting a $100 per barrel by the end of the year. Coming up next is entertainment news. Dowry payments in India's villages have been largely stable over the past few decades, a World Bank study has found. Researchers looked at 40,000 marriages that took place in rural India between 1960 and 2008. They found that dowry was paid in 95% of the marriages, even though it's been illegal in India since 1961. The practice, often described as social evil, continues to thrive and leaves women vulnerable to domestic violence and even death. Paying and accepting dowry is a centuries-old tradition in South Asia, where the bride's parents gift cash and clothes and jewelry to the groom's family. The study was based on dowry data from 17 Indian states that contain 96% of India's population. It focused on rural India since the majority of Indians continue to live in the villages. Bill Cosby's on-screen wife is at the center of controversy after tweeting her support for him when his sexual assault conviction was overturned. Felicia Rashad, who starred in the Cosby Show, tweeted on Wednesday that a terrible wrong has been righted. The tweet was then removed. A follow-up post said she fully supported sexual abuse survivors coming forward. Cosby has defended Russia after Howard University, where she is a dean, said her first tweets lacked sensitivity. And that's news now from iBrandTV Lagos. Thanks very much for watching. I'm Michael Nas.